There we go. My sincerest apologies. I was on for my own personal account when I should be posting. Hi everyone, I'm Melissa. Welcome to another Monday Night Cooking with Melissa, and gorgeous evening bar. Potentially some new information as to what's going on in the state of Washington and the city of Seattle, our restrictions and so on and so forth. But with that restriction, we are going to come together and create some Mexican fiesta that not realizing why it was actually on Tuesday. I thought it was this weekend. I do need to clarify that Mexicans do not celebrate Cinco de Mayo. It's okay. I want just a reason to party in backyards, socially distant and with the neighbors. But tonight, wonderful that I will have a special guest, and she's walking behind me. That's actually Mom. Mexican rice, our family recipe, and then not only that, a fresh salsa and lentil tacos. Now, salsa literally translates to sauce, any kind of sauce. People have the perception that salsa has to be a specific tomato, a specific ingredient, specific jalapeno. Not whatsoever. It translates to sauce. So we're going to be making a roasted fresh salsa live. Of those that I asked you, if you have 3 fresh plump tomatoes, 1 to 2 jalapenos, 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, and half an onion. Now, you're going to do that with me because I want you to know that this is super simple, fresh, delicious, and not only that, fat, and something you can just pound some chips with, some Riesling. So let's go take that as I open a window or two so it doesn't get too smoky in here. All right, window or two open. Again, this is live, so sorry about that. Now, to make your fresh salsa, you have options. Literally any kind of pan. Mary says hi. Literally any kind of pan. I'm going to use a griddle pan today. Now I'm going to just come on over and show you that. Nothing special. Throw those suckers on. I am not aware how spicy. The fact that it's not summer, they're probably not that spicy because things are not enough to create as much capsaicin and in the flavorings of the chili. With that, cloves of garlic, everything is just toasting out, chilling. We have chicken stock back there for our Mexican rice. This will be posted later. And we're going to start on a pan for our rice. We're going to turn that on, medium flame. Now that these jalapenos are cooking for a bit, I'm going to put some tomatoes on there. Nothing else special. Throw the tomatoes on there. And I'm going to let this roast. The natural juices of the tomato are going to come out. The onion is going to as well caramelizing those natural juices. If you want, you can actually throw on a little bit of oil. We'll do that just a little bit. Again, a little bit of oil. Throw that on the pan. Things are going to start to toast. That's have to open the windows just because if not, that alarm will go. Now, with that, we're going to be having some Mexican rice. Every family recipe is different. You might even go to certain parts of Mexico where the rice is red. It is white. There might be some vegetables. And we like to do ours red with the hint of tomatoes. So now, what are you trying to do? There we go. Now you will notice that there is going to be a little bit of smoke. Let it smoke. Let it heat. With that as well, we're going to have some lentils. But going back to our salsa, I'm going to use some. This is what we use in Mexico. And then in the South to grind some of our spices, to grind some of our ingredients. Once all those ingredients come out of that pan, that's it. A bit of salt, maybe a little bit of lemon juice, just to your taste, and a little bit of throat. It's a fresh salsa that's super quick. If you'd like, you can also toss that into a food processor. Now, to make our Mexican rice, we need about a tablespoon of olive oil and about a half a cup of rice. We rice tonight. If you'd like, you can definitely use brown basmati rice. I would not recommend using brown rice. It takes a little bit too long to cook. You still want that rice to have some texture to it and not mushy. Mushy rice is a good thing. When you spoon your rice, you want the grains to separate and fall apart a little bit. I'm going to turn down that. Now, what we have going on over here, we have, and we're toasting it. This is called parching. When you toast it, you create a little bit of fond, and that little exterior fond, protect the rice from, again, getting too squishy when you cook it. Recipe. It's all just within the spice. And my mom will also say that she doesn't find herself as good of a cook as the rest of the women in her family. I promise it's a really good recipe still. So, a half a cup of rice. This is about a medium 8-inch. I'm going to turn on this just a little bit because we are starting to have a bit of smoke from the stuff. Now you'll notice that tomatoes are going to scorch on the outside. Okay, you want that. Again, you want that char. And just turn it. My hands have definitely taken a beating over cooking in restaurants, so that's how I turn things in the kitchen. Now, a little bit more rice because that wasn't quite a cup. You're going to toast this for about 3 minutes up until your granules are golden brown. Please be careful. Your granules will go from golden brown to burnt as well, a heartbeat. So this is something that you have to stove, but not long, only 3 minutes. Now, second texture. Rice needs liquid. We are using chicken stock. We roasted it too long ago, and we just made some stock out of it in your freezer. Put it away in your pantry. So simple. So opposed to going and buying an chicken in the restaurant, or sorry, in the grocery stores, and you're spending extra money on container. Deli tubs. You can also store them in glass mason jars. There's different options. So, it's going to be warm. You want that to be warm because it hits that hot rice. If that liquid, you're going to create that soggy effect, and you created an exterior on the rice that is going to allow it to cook evenly. And when you add that cold liquid, it just goes ooh, as opposed to right. So as we do that, we're going to get started on our tacos. This whole, I kid you not, take 20 minutes, and that's with, of course, my helper. But if she wasn't here, I probably would handle it too. We're going to make some lentil tacos. Tonight, Meatless Monday, I want you to utilize ingredients in your pantry. Rice is a common staple, but it can get you pretty far. And a lot of cultures love rice. I mean, not just cultures, a lot of people. You just have that little essence that is yours. I had a cup of lentils yesterday. Nothing special, a little bit of salt, water, about 2.5 cups of water. That's your ratio, about 1 a little 2 to 1. Now, we have some mushrooms I got in a CSA box, and we have some I picked from the garden. You can use canned mushrooms, you can use canned lentils, you can even use, frozen kale, frozen chard, any kind of leafy bitter green that at the bottom of your refrigerator going bad, okay? So that in place, we are going to turn on our skillets. We have the space. You can also do this in the oven. All you have to do is put everything on high to about 5 degrees, but I really wanted those little bits from the pan. So I do have the nice, I'm proud to have a stove with that many burners, so we're just going to take advantage of it. Now, for tacos, I have about 2 cups of mushrooms here. Does not matter what kind of mushroom. I actually have oyster mushroom here because this was given to me in my CSA box. A lot of restaurants out there are offering CSA boxes. Contact your local restaurant and maybe you can get a produce box. Or not only that, if you go online to Seattle Farmers, you can actually find farmers that are doing delivery vegetable produce. They're looking at anywhere from $25 to $50 a box of beautiful vegetables and local yogurts, local cheeses. There are some options out there if you don't want to go to the grocery store, but you still want to take advantage of produce here in Seattle. Again, just seattlemarket.org. Camila's here too. It's a party. Hey, well, someone has to have the margaritas and the beer. With that, we have some onions, some kale, some lentils, ground roasting the rice. Nothing else going on over there. I turned on my skillet. That is about a minute. We're going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil. And with that, with mushrooms, you want enough fats, and you also want base, and you want high heat. Why? Because the mushroom will give you a little bit of liquid. They are very porous. And if you cook them in a medium pan or a low heat pan, you just get a mushroom. You want that mushroom to have a little bit of texture. So special, that's going to go in. I have about a teaspoon. Feel free to add more if you'd like. Grandma and I are going to use your garlic. If you can see how your rice is looking over, parching it, starting to get pretty brown. Over here are also creating some more texture. a little bit more. The jalapenos are also cooking. The garlic cloves in the little skin. Leave that. Nothing's going to go bad. I promise. Now, sweet. Right now, I'm going to add a few spices. Salt, this little paprika, because it is a vegetarian dish. I want to create that meaty nuance without doing in or chorizo or anything like that, just by adding spices. Some cumin and a little bit of oregano. All right. At this point, let it golden brown the rice. Magda is going to add about half an onion and about a good tablespoon of crushed garlic. Super simple. Now, with that, my mushrooms are already going. I'm going to add about a fourth of a cup to this. Share. This is called mise en place. When everything is already chopped this way, knock it out. Set it and forget it. I know that's a little bit difficult because we all have lives, jobs, family members. But of course, this is just magic of television. If I was cooking this meal fresh, it would probably take me about 5 minutes and I would just be chopping as I went. But still up as you go. This way you have the ability to dish to another. So, nothing special. This is where I have my spices. Those are not my spices. These are my spices. The oregano, the cumin, the paprika. I will give you the measurements later on for this recipe. And I'm going to grab some salt. That is your choice, yes. But where is my salt? Yes. So, now what she's doing, she is going to add to this. Look at that. It's a little too high. All right. Just going to lower the temperature just a little bit. Now, that was probably about a full cup of broth. You want to still a little more. Cover that up just a little bit. Now we're going to let it cook. She salted it with the onion, not too much more. My mushrooms are still going over. I still need to find that salt, and I still need to add that salt. So, with that, we also have about half a cup of tomato sauce. This is fresh tomato sauce because I had some extra. Free to use cans. All these recipes you can in your pantry, but we had a little bit that I froze, and why not use that? It's time to add some kale. So this was fine kale. I know some kids might not like that. Other adults might not like it, but when you add the lentil and a few other ingredients that we'll talk about in just a minute, you don't notice that there's kale in these tacos because it actually cooks down ground beef a little bit. Okay. So, still more salt. Now, this is where one would also have a glass of wine, margarita. Please do, if you need to. I'm going to stir this up. Now this mixture, simply like that. When we add the lentils, everything will continue to cook down. But for now, I'm going to let those flavors marinate. At this point, what I'm doing is adding the fresh tomato sauce. If you would like, bouillon is something you can use. You can use vegetarian. You can use tomato flavored bouillon. There's many options, but if you want, that is something that you can add. If you don't have chicken stock, you can easily make the bouillon. Add a little bit of liquid to it. Okay. Now the ingredients salsa are still cooking. That salsa, again, super simple. It just takes a while for all those vegetables to completely break down. So I'm going to give this another. I'm going to continue cranking up the heat. Probably do about a higher heat right now. Again, we already added our spices. Salt. This is seriously just mushrooms, garlic, onions. We are going to add about a cup to a cup and a half of cooked lentils. Feel free to use any. For me, lentils are smaller and it's going to help mimic the ground beef, but any vegetable you can do. I was 2 seconds away of using canned chicken. I also had that in my pantry, but there was just a little bit of beans left. I cooked them up. I'm going to eat some with this and the rest. I'll probably toss in a grain bowl tomorrow for lunch. Let's toss this in. It's about a cup to a cup and a half. is that as you're going, you could just easily put it away. So always salt to go, and this is where I'm going to add a little salt. Okay. Awesome. Now, I want to create that meatiness, but at the same time, I don't want it to be squishy. That's the only problem with vegetables, is that they tend to get a little squishy. So what you do to make food taste delicious, always think about that texture. Not only about the color, you think about the acidity. Texture is just as important. So I actually have a fourth of a tablespoon, a fourth of a cup of walnuts. High protein, low fats, and veggie meal tonight. So lentils, kale, mushrooms, onion, garlic, nuts. Let's throw those into the pot too. I toasted these on a little skillet earlier. I chopped them up. They're already nice and diced up. So slow down, Magda, slow down. So I just want you to see something. White rice does not take nearly as much as brown rice. So she added some, and you saw that. All we're doing now is topping this off with cilantro and a little. Do you want some fresh diced tomatoes? Tomatoes. I will put this recipe in full detail, but just how easy this Mexican rice can be. This is where you can add maybe some frozen veggies, like maybe some frozen carrots, or you can even do canned peas and canned. That's pretty common in other parts of Mexico, especially more closer to the end, where you would have that with some white grilled fish. But for us, this is the way I would come home from college, and I'm like, Mommy, just make me right. Now, still going to stir this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the heat just a smidge. I add about a tablespoon of tomato paste to this, just to give a different color, darker color. And Magda's done. That's all for the rice. It's just the flavors, and it's just making sure you're doing to get that grain the way you want it. Now, probably about a tablespoon of tomato paste. I like this kind of tomato paste just because it's easy to access as a jar, and this will last you for a good tomato paste. And I'm going to put a little bit of liquid to this. Can you please put a little bit of liquid to this? Just fill it up. Now, with your rice, you might find that the rice can be off. As soon as that it's almost done, I just added about a cup of water to this. As soon as you feel the rice is done, or if you feel that the rice is underdone, liquid absorbed, slowly add a little bit of liquid. Remember, it needs to always do about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of liquid. So, taco filling is pretty much complete. The flavors of the paprika, the cumin, the oregano. Take one bite to see if it's salted correctly. It needs more salt. Of course, pepper. But that's about that. Okay? So, if anybody's making this salsa, I want to know if your tomatoes and your jalapenos, because mine are just about. They've been on there for about, what, 15 minutes? It take a while. If you were going to cook it in the oven, it would probably take 12 to 15 minutes as well. Now, this taco filling does not look pretty, but it's so good. I'm with corn and flour tortillas tonight. My husband tortillas. Someone gifted me some flour tortillas. I love the corn. And a little bit of queso fresco. Queso fresco is very similar to our version of mozzarella cheese. It is a little bit soft, but still a little bit crumbly and grainy. Not as dry as cotija cheese, which is very dry. So, this done, filling done. Rice, pretty much another 5 more minutes, not too much more. Let's check out our. Now, I want to show you something real quick. You will note one of the tomatoes came apart. That's okay. You're going to mush it, and it's going to be great. to mush and you're just gonna whiz it in your food processor or your mortal, so it does not matter. Now these jalapenos, delicious the way they are with that blistered skin, taco as is. For us, it's pretty common. We can handle the heat from northern Mexico. If you'd like, you can even salt here and throw that into the blender of the food processor, or you can wait until the very. So I am going to use a pair of tongs now. Raise the temperature just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove garlic. And the reason why, I want you to see it just a little. We're still in the cloves, but they're super now. And I'm just going to remove that again, fingertips of steel here. And for those of you that don't have a mortar and pestle, please get one. I really feel it's an essential item for your kitchen. Why? Because you can do little things like, or you can also grind fresh spices. I kid you not. You haven't had true curry spices until you grounded your own and yourselves. So this garlic is so the second I smash it, it's already mush. So I'm just gonna right there. Now one more clove. Again, that was years of tossing in the kitchen with my mom. You put them on the comal and you put them with your fingers, right, Mom? Yeah. Whoops, run away. So we're gonna do here now is we're gonna get our vegetables off the stove. You are going to find the tomatoes and you are going to dice. It's ugly, it doesn't matter, the onion and the jalapeno, and then from that toss all together with just a little bit of salt, a little bit of lemon, and that's up for you. If you added more tomatoes, that's great. Okay, now all I do is mash, 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 and I will give you a glimpse. Just please the size of the mortar and pestle that you have, just because it can like go woo. One is a lot more cooked than others, but I really do get those dark caramel notes in there. Again, my filling is already done. My rice is cooking. All I have to do is warm up some. I already have the cheese diced up, and from there, a little bit of cilantro on top. Cilantro. So this was just a little bit of leftover cilantro that I in the rice. I'm going to toss that in. Now, where things get a little bit tricky, because remember, jalapenos are spicy. So if you cut out the nerve, it won't be as. I let the nerves in, so I just got to be really careful when I'm slicing, and then after that, touching my face. But it's okay, we're not touching our face right now either way because of Corona, right? So, my knife, just for you to see, super rough dice. If you need to, always use your tongs. Hold that down. This is very typical restaurant style. Now, this is also a salsa that's made at some Mexican restaurants. When I was back in January, this is more Oaxaca. They just come over with all these ingredients and molcajete to your table, and they just mash, 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 mash. That tastes good enough for you, sir? No, make it spicy. Add some more jalapeno, add a little bit of that lime juice, and you are good to go. Nothing special, just dice that sucker up. And it's delicious because when you roast the jalapeno, it's almost as though it gets herbaceous. It's a beautiful. Now, I want you to know in that second, Magda just turned for the rice. That's it. Just let it sit. Let it sit. That juice or whatever's left is just going to go, and we're done. So, as I continue to rough, for me, really hot in my household, and it's such a that we're definitely going to have some kind of like this, but very fresh, vegetarian. Okay, now I'm going to toss that in. And so far at the 25-minute mark, we're pretty much done there. All of these things that we did, about 30 minutes, give or take. But that's a beautiful salsa. We're just going to give that a nice zhuzh, and then I'll show you up top. If you want to, if you have tomatillos moving forward in the summertime, you can definitely tomatillos the exact same way I did. Tomatillos a little bit of a brinier flavor. Less to taste because I like it pretty. And again, the acidity is going to cut that balance. Sorry, and it's going to create a balance. So take a peek into my molcajete. Hopefully I have lights. There we go. That's it. This fresh salsa casera, so to speak, means typical house style. And we're done. If you guys have questions tonight, please reach out to me. We did that hopefully you guys followed. Not only that, Mexican and your lentil vegetarian tacos. Have a wonderful night and see you next Monday. We're going to have another Mexican piece with Cinco de Mayo. Have a great night. Bye.